for the delay. It has been a nightmare because I've been trying to fix this problem and I've been unable to. I've been trying to connect to the link that I advertised and it just wasn't working. I don't know why, but it was so frustrating. Trust me, I was, pulling my hair out. I was not having fun at all. So, anyway, let's go over some different meanings of get. And I don't know if people know that I have connected and started a new live. So, ay, ay, ay. Let me see if you are here joining me today, because I hope you are, given that I was telling people, advertising the link, it wasn't working. So it was a bit of a nightmare. But hello, Elilda, you are there. Nice to see you. Hello, Vicente. Hello, Silly, Miguel. Yes, it's a success. It has worked. Honestly, I was trying to figure it out, trying to connect different things. And then I was like, wait, I can see people writing different comments, but they are complaining that I'm not there. So I was thinking like, wait, what's going on? You can see that I'm terrible with technology. Me and technology, we don't really get along. We don't really get on well, which is ironic. It's curious because thinking that I edit my own videos and I have my own website and I do all of these things, you would imagine that a lot of people would know that I'm good at technology, but that's not the case. Far from it. Now, before we get started, let me know in the comments, where are you right now? What time is it right now? And what's the weather like right now? Because here in the UK, because I'm staying at my mum and dad's house at the moment, I'm in my sister's room, and here you can see the cot next to me, and my sister's bed over there with loads of stuff on top of it. But yeah, I'm here for another week because one of my friends is going to get married next weekend. So I thought I would try to spend some time with my family, my friends, before going to this wedding. So yeah, I'm back in the UK. Specifically, I am in a town called Bingley. And Bingley isn't very big. It's a town of about 20,000 inhabitants. And, well, it's all right. It's not a bad place to be. It's a bit sleepy. Not that much goes on in this town, but it's nice to be home and have the comforts of my own home. Now, apologies if I'm not 100% focused just yet, because given that there was this confusion with the previous link, I want to make sure people know where I am. So I'm just going to post on my Instagram channel that I'm here, that there was a mix up with the link, but here we are. So here I've got my phone. I'm just posting on Instagram to let people know that I am live on YouTube. And we have someone who is there in Australia. Australia, mate. Australia. Woo. You know, I actually lived in Australia a few years ago, and it's amazing. Australia is a wonderful place. I love Australia. And the only downside is that you have a lot of creepy crawlies. You have a lot of spiders, snakes, poisonous things that can kill you. But other than that, it's all good. Hello, Mary. Hello, Dwight. Ahmad, Sveta. Hello, everybody. And we have someone from Ukraine in Lichfield, Staffordshire. Lovely. Fantastic. So, let's get started. And the plan for today is to go over all of the meanings of get in English. So I'm going to use a PowerPoint that I made a couple of years ago. And this PowerPoint includes the main meanings of get and some expressions with get, some phrasal verbs with get. And at the same time, I'm going to show you a little bit about my online classes, my website, in case you are interested in joining my classes and having classes with me, then I can show you exactly how it works. So that's the plan. But if you have any questions about anything English related during this live stream, do not hesitate to ask a question, and I'd be more than happy to answer it and let you know. And we have Isabel from Germany, lovely. And in a small flat in Ukraine, 2:15, hot and cloudy, lovely. And we've got someone from Hong Kong, fantastic, beautiful. All right, now I know where you're from or where you are. Shall we get started? Lovely expression, get started. This is nice and common, but to get started is just a way of saying to begin. And as I just explained on my Instagram, we can also use another get expression, which is get the ball rolling. So I'm gonna get the ball rolling because hopefully now everybody knows the link and you can join me and we can get the ball rolling. To get the ball rolling is to begin. We can also use a phrasal verb, which is to kick off. So now we've gone over that, let's kick off this live class. And first of all, tell me, get. What do you know about the meanings of get? How many meanings of get are you familiar with? Because there are many. I will tell you that. Many, many meanings of get. And, well, get can be used for pretty much everything. Get could mean, for example, dun 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 dun. Number one, I need to get some files from the archives. Can you get some paper from my desk? In this case, get means to obtain something. But not only that, let's look at number two. She gets the train to work every day. We can get a taxi back to the hotel. So get is also used when speaking about travel to say to take. I'm going to get the train. I'm going to get the bus. I'm going to get a plane. How about number three? Did you get my email yesterday? She got a beautiful necklace yesterday. In both of these cases, to get is another way of saying to receive. So she received an email and she received a necklace. So there we have some common meanings of get. Now, number four, we must get some milk. There's none left. Shall we get some fruit later? In both of these cases, get is similar to obtain, but shows the meaning of buying something. So if you are getting some milk, you're buying some milk. Shall we get some fruit? Shall we buy some fruit? There we already have four different meanings of get. Now, number five, it's getting colder. Put a jacket on. You can get better at English if you practice. Now, this is a little bit trickier, but get plus adjective or get plus comparative are ways of saying that there is a change. It's like saying to become. To get colder, to become colder. Get better at English, you're becoming better at English. And we could use the same thing to say it's getting dark outside, or I'm getting excited about going to the beach, and so on and so forth. Now, how about number six? The plane gets here in an hour. What time do you think they will get home? So get here, get home. Both of them mean to arrive. And we can also use get there. A key thing is that we don't use a preposition. We don't say get to home or get to there. Just get here, get there, get home. But if then you say get to work, get to the station, get to the library, we do use to. It's only with here, there, and home where there is no preposition. All right, we're getting along nicely. How about number 7? I didn't get that. Could you repeat it? Oh, he got the joke, but I still don't get it. In these cases, get means, well, to understand. I hope you are getting all of this information. And if I tell you a joke, I hope you get the joke. Now let's look at number 8, which is the final main meaning of get. You should get your bike fixed. I think it's time I got my hair cut. Get something plus past participle. Get my haircut, get my walls painted, get my car fixed. All of these are examples of causatives. And they all mean basically to make something happen. So there we have an introduction to the verb get. It can mean obtain, take, receive, buy, become, arrive, understand, and make something happen. Now, let's go over some of your questions before we continue. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And if you have any questions, if anything is unclear, please let me know. And hello to you from Kazakhstan. Guai to purchase. Yes, it means to purchase as well. Has so many meanings. You can get something if you comprehend something. And you can get something from a place. You get something from the kitchen, let's say. And what else? What else? How about get used and possession with have got? Great question. So we have these two phrases. To be used to, which means to be accustomed to. For example, accustomed to. I am used to working online. I'm used to teaching English. I'm used to living abroad. Important that we always use it with ing. And then get used to is very, very similar. But get, as we saw with become, like get cold, get better, get happier. In this case, get shows that you are changing this habit. So get used to is to become accustomed to. For example, during the lockdown and the pandemic, I had to get used to working remotely. Now I am my own boss. I'm getting used to doing my own taxes. And when I lived in Spain, I needed to get used to having dinner really, really late. So get used to is a lovely phrase which means to become accustomed to, like to adapt to something. And again, we use it with ing. Good question. And the other question, Sveta, was have got. So have and have got have the same meaning. Have got is maybe a little bit more colloquial. It's a little bit more informal. So for example, I've got £10 in my wallet. It's the same as saying I have £10 in my wallet. And as a question, have you got any money? It's exactly the same as saying, do you have any money? So have got is the same as have. It makes no difference in the meaning, really. Have got and have. Good question. Hopefully, I have answered your question. And hello, Nehal. Finally, I joined alive. Yeah. Good. And again, if anybody else has any other questions during this live, do not hesitate to let me know. Now, after that, let's go over some conversation questions using get. So I've got loads of questions and I'm excited to answer them because usually when I record my podcast, I have a long list of conversation questions so you can practice your understanding and your listening skills. So that being said, I'm going to share my screen again, and here we're going to have a look at some conversation questions using get. And I want you to think about how you would answer these conversation questions as well. The first one is, did you get good marks in your exams at school? Yes, personally, I got good marks in my exams at school. I didn't do badly at all. I always got above average marks. I didn't pass my exams with flying colors. I didn't get amazing results, but usually I got good results. And hello to you in Jakarta. Now, the second question. What time do you normally get off work? Lovely phrase. Get off work is the same as saying to finish work. So, for example, I usually get off work from Monday to Wednesday at 8 or 9 o'clock. And on Thursday and Friday, I get off work at about 2ish. So I finish fairly early on Thursday and Friday. But then, of course, I have to make videos and edit videos and so on. And we have a question from Yana. How long are your one-to-one classes? Are they 1 hour? Yes, my one-to-one classes are 1 hour long. If you have any other questions about my classes, please let me know. And you can find a lot of information on my website, which I'll show you in a little bit on this live. So stay tuned. And a question from Cesar. Hello, what are the correct pronunciations of either, neither, and often? This is a tricky question, but essentially, we have two possible pronunciations. I'll stop sharing to answer this question because this is a big question. I'll show it to you. The correct pronunciations of either, neither, and often. Notice how I've pronounced it, but there is no real way of telling you what is 100% correct and 100% incorrect because it depends on the accent. In the United Kingdom and in the English-speaking world, we have so many different accents. And I personally say either, neither, and often. So I pronounce the T. However, there are many people in the south of England who might say either, neither, and often. That would also be 100% correct. So it's up to you. In general, in the north of England, we say either, neither, and often. In the south of England, people usually say either, neither, and often. So it's up to you. You choose. Hopefully that answered your question. And Alad, is get over similar to get off? No. Get over, in this case, means to recover. Let's say you broke up with your partner and you feel really, really sad. It might take a long time for you to get over her or get over him, to kind of move on from that person. And it's also used for illnesses. So I was sick last week, but I think I've got over it. I think I have recovered from that illness. Cool. Okay, now let's go over some other of these questions. And here, The third question is, does cold weather get you down? Does cold weather get you down? To get someone down means to make them sad. Get you down. Make you sad. So personally, I wouldn't say that cold weather gets me down because I like every single season and I like to know that it's going to be hot in summer, it's going to be cold in winter. The only thing that gets me down in winter is the fact that it gets dark really, really soon. So, at least here in the United Kingdom, it usually gets dark at 4:30 in December and January, which that does get me down. It, you know, it makes me sad, I must admit. Another question. The fourth one. How are you changing as you're getting older? So this is an example of get plus a comparative, to get older. As I'm changing, I'm changing as I'm getting older in the fact that I don't like going out and drinking as much as I used to. And I'm getting more motivated with work. And of course, my beard is getting a little bit grey and I'm getting a little bit bald at the same time. So those are some examples of how I'm changing as I'm getting older. Now, the fifth question. Is it easy to get someone to help when you have doubts? Now, that depends 100%. But I have a lot of close friends and I have a lot of family members that I can count on. So I would say that it's easy to get someone to help me when I have doubts because I send some friends a message and then from there, they'll be able to hopefully help me out. So, yeah, it's not too hard to get someone to help me. And now let's go over another one of these questions that you have from Mary. Get into, get on, get off, and get to. Well, first, get into and get in are kind of the same, really. And get in is when we use a car. So I'm going to get in the taxi. Get in my car. So get in or into is used with a car, a taxi, or a car in general. Get on the other hand, this is a nice confusing one. We use get on with transport to say that you are entering a bus, a train, a tram, a plane, essentially any kind of public transport that has an aisle in the middle. So if you can get up and walk around when speaking about transport, we use get on. And the opposite is get off. So you get on the train, you get off the train. You get on the plane, you get off the plane. You get on the bus, you get off the bus, and so on. Exactly. As Nehal said here, you do get on the train. Lolo. Cool. And the other one was get to. So get to is with a place. So for example, I got to the party a bit late. If you say I got to the party, it means you arrived at the party. All right? And it could also be used with different places as well. I'm going to get to the cinema in 10 minutes. She got to the pub at 8 o'clock. Hopefully that responds to your questions. Any other questions? Again, let me know. The more questions, the better. And I'd like to take this moment to let you know and tell you, if you haven't already, smash that like button and share this stream with anyone who you think might like it. Because, yeah, of course, I want people to benefit from this class. And if you enjoy live classes, then I'd be more than happy to do more live classes, Hopefully, I won't have the technical difficulties I had at the beginning of the lesson. What a nightmare. But practice makes perfect. And you could say the same thing about English learning or language learning in general, that the more you practice, the better. People sometimes have a problem with the idea of practice makes perfect, but at least practice makes progress. So you're going to get better as you practice. Now, let me continue with some of these conversation questions. And where were we? Well, we were at when you have a cold, do you usually get better soon? So, get better is to improve or to recover in this case. And yeah, I don't usually get sick, I don't usually get ill, but when I do get sick, I tend to get better quite quickly. You could say that I have a good immune system. I hope so, anyway. Now, next one. What did you get your partner, sibling, or parents for their last birthday? Here, get is like to buy. And well, for my partner, my fiance, because we are engaged, we got engaged earlier this year, and we're gonna get married next year. Thank you, thank you. And what did I get her for her birthday? Usually, I get my partner a trip because I think it's nicer to do activities together. So I like to maybe, I don't know, go for a weekend away, a little getaway with my fiance. So what I'll usually get her is a weekend away in a nice city, and then we can wander around, have a laugh, and do different things. Next one. If you watch comedies in English, do you tend to get the jokes? Here, get to understand. Of course, I'm English. So I do tend to get the jokes when I watch comedies, but this is a better question for you guys. Whenever you're watching a series, do you tend to get the jokes? Do you understand the jokes that they make during these series or films? I'm curious to find out. And the penultimate question, are you thinking about getting a new TV, laptop, bike, or car anytime soon? Honestly, no. I'm not thinking about getting a new laptop because the one I have works just fine. I'm not thinking about getting a new TV because I don't watch that much TV anyway. And then a car, I don't have a car and I don't need a car. So I'm not thinking about getting a new car. And a bike, well, I don't mind cycling, but I'm more than happy to borrow someone else's bike or rent a bike. And the last get question to begin is, do you still get any physical post or mail? What kind? Yes, unfortunately, I do still get physical post. Over there in Brussels, where I live, the system seems a little bit old school or outdated, and they still send me lots of information by post, which is a bit annoying because when I pick up this envelope with information, I always panic a little bit because I think, oh my God, it's going to be bad news, isn't it? Ah! So yeah, I still get physical post in Belgium, in Brussels. So hopefully they can send me more online information than in-person physical post, because what a waste, right? It's such a waste of paper. Okay, let's go over some different questions. Thank you very much, Marina. I appreciate it. And also thank you very much, Mary. I suppose this is related to me getting engaged recently. And let's see if there were any questions. From Sada. Hi, Lewis. Which is the level of this video? B, C, thank you, and congratulations for the masterclass. Well, it's a little bit of everything. To begin, up until this point, I've been teaching slightly easier stuff. So I have been going over the meanings of get in general and using it in conversation. But stay tuned because I'm also going to show you some get expressions and phrasal verbs which are more high B2 level or C1 level. But until this point, it's been fairly easy. Good. And croissant. It's my first time to watch live Lewis. I hope you're enjoying it. Fingers crossed. And Lola, you're an amazing and helpful teacher, Lewis. Thank you very much. A lovely advanced question here from Silly Sausage. What does it mean when someone says, "Get off it, mate"? This is really advanced and really colloquial, but it could mean a couple of different things. If someone says, like, "Get off it, mate," it's saying, like, well, calm down, chill out. Maybe he's being a little bit, I don't know, big-headed or a little bit too, let's say, excitable. And you say, "Get off it, mate." It's like saying, like, chill out, mate, calm down, come on, take a chill pill. So yeah, that's more or less it. And is your partner a woman or a man? A woman. So I have been in a relationship with my fiance for 10 years and I am straight. So yeah, that's that. Okay, now let's move on. And I'm going to show you a little bit about my English classes before we have a look at phrasal verbs and expressions with get. But a question here first. When should we separate the phrasal verb with a noun? It depends. I can't really give you a perfect guide on this off the top of my head. Maybe I can make an upcoming YouTube video about this to explain it in more detail. But essentially, there are some phrasal verbs that we can separate and others that we can't. So it's a little bit tricky. Honestly, I don't know if there is a rule for it. I will look it up and I will find out and let you know. But off the top of my head, there isn't really a 100% guide to when we can do this. Soon, hi, hello, how are you? And another question, hey, do British kids learn foreign languages at school? If they do, how many classes a week do they have? Interesting question. We do, but not a lot. Not a lot at all. So usually at primary school, until you're like 11 years old, we will have 1 hour per week of either French or Spanish, generally speaking, which is nothing. 1 hour per week, you're never going to learn anything. And then when we get to secondary school, you'll maybe have 2 hours a week of the language that you started. And usually we start learning 2 languages at the same time, which tend to be French and Spanish, or maybe Italian and German. Generally speaking, they are European languages. But yeah, we don't learn a lot of languages at school, which is why many people don't end up learning languages when they're older. Perhaps because people feel like it's not necessary, given that everybody else learns English, which I think is a bad point of view and opinion to have, but it is what it is. I personally would advocate and recommend learning languages for British people, but we're quite lazy. I'm the exception in that I like languages and studied languages at primary school, secondary school, and university. Cool. And Patrick Young, ha! Ha ha! And Lola, thank you to you too. All right, let me quickly show you my online classes in case you are interested. I'll make it nice and quick, but yes, I am an English teacher. And of course, on top of making these YouTube videos, podcasts, conversations, I also teach online. So I teach online, well, I've been doing it for the last 5 years since the pandemic happened. And I'm just quickly going through my website, which is englishwithlewis.com. Here you can see an introduction to me and my career in case you're interested in learning languages with me. And then I offer 3 different services: the British English Immersion Club for group classes. Also, I offer private classes too, and I offer online company classes. And let me show you the British English Immersion Club. And here, if you click on this, this is another video explaining how it works. But let me just go through it. This is my star product, let's say, because in my opinion, it is the ultimate way to immerse yourself in English for only 60 euros per month. Because for 60 euros per month, you get access to one small group class per week, an average of 3 to 4 students in every lesson. And there are 15 different hours you can choose from, so it adapts to your timetable for B1, B2, and C1 plus levels. But not only that, you can also join a bonus class per week. And these bonus classes rotate between business English, exam prep, the news, and sometimes just a morning chit chat. And on top of all of that, I offer some writing practice. Like you can write a diary and get feedback. You can write series recommendations and also get feedback from me. And all of this is a nice supportive community. So check it out if you're interested. Here you can see the timetable. Given that the majority of my students are B2 or C1 level, there are more hours available for these groups. As you can see here, this is the existing timetable at the moment. And if a lot of new students decide to join my community, then I can always expand the number of classes available. So on average, there will always be around 4 people in every group. And yeah, that is my British English Immersion Club. But if, like many people, you prefer private classes, I do also offer that. However, I only have availability in the mornings because for my evenings, that's when I'm teaching the group classes. But if you're interested in private classes, which are more conversational and also more adaptable to you, then you can check it out. It's 50 euros for 1 hour, or you can have 200 euros for 5 private classes, and you can book them whenever you want. When you sign up to have either private classes or group classes with me, then you will be able to log in, and from there you can, well, join the classes or book the classes to suit you. So any questions about my online classes, please let me know. I'll also give you my email address so you can check it out and ask me any questions. So that's all of the selling done. And as I said, my email address is lewis@englishwithlewis.com. So check it out. And if you have any further questions about my online classes, you can always contact me via email. And we have a question from Patrick. I think this is related to children in the UK. Now, I'm just going to close the window because it seems my neighbors are having some work done. So maybe it wasn't annoying you, but it was annoying me because I could hear some background noise. But yeah, Patrick asked Mandarin. I'm not sure if the situation has changed now. It probably has because I went to school a long time ago now. But I imagine British kids are starting to learn Mandarin as well. They should, anyway. Hello, Renata. And for Yana, another question. Are you available for one-to-one private classes at the weekend mornings? Can you help prepare Cambridge C1? Yes, it depends what time. Send me an email and then we can go over exact availabilities and I can answer any of your specific questions. But I'd recommend you check out the group classes as well because it's a great affordable way of being in contact with English and immersing yourself in the language. All right, shall we continue with get? I think so, because you might be getting bored of going over so many different things like this. So let me share my screen once again. And now we're going to look at some get phrasal verbs. Can you see it? I hope so. Fingers crossed. And Jana, thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. So here we have 10 get phrasal verbs. And this is an example of the PowerPoints that I look at and teach with my online students, because I have hundreds of PowerPoints related to different topics, and every topic we cover a different, every week we cover a different topic. All right, silly, let's get cracking. Lovely, nice expression. Get cracking is another way of saying get the ball rolling. Which I explained briefly before, but to get cracking is to get the ball rolling. In other words, to begin. Let's get cracking. Vamos, let's do it. So on the right, you can see 10 different meanings. On the left, you have 10 different phrasal verbs with get. I reckon that this isn't going to be too tricky. I don't think it's going to be too hard. So I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. Get ahead. What does it mean to get ahead? Well, if you get ahead at work or in your career, you progress. You make progress. So get ahead is to progress. Then get along, or in British English, it's common to also use get on well with. I get along with my students. I get on well with my students, of course. So get along is to be friendly with someone. Or you could put it another way and say, have a good relationship with someone. Then the third one is get away. Let's say you commit a crime and then the police knock on your door. I hope you'd be able to get away. I hope you'd be able to get away from the police. Because yes, get away is escape. But we also use it sometimes to say that you are on a getaway, like a little trip. So on Friday, I'm going to go on a getaway to the beach because my friend is getting married. Now, get back, nice and simple. If we think about the Beatles, get back, get back, get back to where you once belong. Wonderful singing, right? So get back is like go back or come back. It's practically the same, and it is to return. I got back to the UK a week ago, more or less. Then get behind is the opposite of get ahead. And many people will use fall behind instead of get behind. So if you are sick, for example, and you're not able to attend classes, you may fall behind. You might get behind, So in this case, it is to fail to do work according to a schedule. Essentially, you don't make progress. You don't keep up with the rhythm or the speed of the other students. Now, get by. Get by is often used with money or with languages. My French isn't very good, but I think I can get by. I don't earn loads of money per month, but I get by. So get by is to have just enough money to survive, or for languages, have just enough level to survive. Then we have get into trouble. When I was young, I was very well behaved, so I never really got into trouble. My mum never really told me off because I was a good boy. So get into trouble is to do something not allowed and be discovered. You get caught if you are discovered. Another nice phrase. So I was stealing from the, biscuit tin, and my mum saw me, and I got into trouble because I got caught. She caught me. Then, as I explained earlier on in this live lesson, get off and get on are related to transport, the type of transport where you have an aisle in the middle, or when you can stand up and walk. So get off is to leave a ship, a bus, a plane, a train. And get on is when you board it. You enter a boat, a bike, a train, a tram, a bus. We had the question for get over earlier, and I said that I don't usually get sick, but if I do get sick, I tend to get over it quite quickly. So get over is to recover from a sickness. Now we've only got 2 left. Nice and easy. Today I'm going to meet up with my family to go out for a Sunday roast. So we're going to get together. We're going to get together and have a meal. And lastly, get up is to wake up, to leave your bed in the morning. So there we have 10 common phrasal verbs with get. I reckon you already knew them. So I'm also going to show you some other get phrasal verbs and expressions. How does that sound? But tell me, if you have any other questions, let me know. And here is a wonderful question from Silly Sausage. Doesn't get behind also mean support? Yes, fantastic. Let me give you an example. The fans got behind the team, and in the end, they were able to win the class. Win the class? No, win the match. So, if the fans got behind the team, they supported the team, and in the end, they were able to win the match, not class. You know, sometimes I write things and I say things that I'm not actually thinking, but hey, it's normal. It is what it is. And Mary, I lost your class. What do you mean? Do you mean you missed the last section? If so, no worries, because you can go back, you can rewatch. I'm going to be posting this live as well, so you can go back and check it out as many times as you want. Now, before I show you some other get expressions and phrasal verbs, let's see if you can remember these phrases, because now we're going to do a gap fill. And I often do gap fills because I find it's a good way to see the context of expressions and phrasal verbs. So, how about we give it a go? This is easy peasy. What time do you usually get up in the mornings? The police couldn't catch the robbers. They got away. I'm bored. Let's get together with our friends this weekend. Hurry! We don't want to miss the train. Let's get on. Let's get on the train. Staying warm and getting rest will help you get over your cold, to recover from it. Tommy, after he told a lie. Tommy got into trouble after he told a lie. Maybe his mum or teacher saw him and he got caught, so he got into trouble. I really like my classmates. We all get along with each other. We all get on well with each other. Now, number 8. I have to the plane in Toronto. and transfer to another plane. So, in this case, it's the opposite of get on. So I have to get off the plane in Toronto and transfer to another plane. Good. You should study more so you don't get behind in math and science. Usually I'd say maths instead of math. Math is a bit more American. But yeah, get behind is to fall behind, to make less progress. Last week, we from our holiday in Spain. We returned from our holiday. We got back from our holiday in Spain. My job doesn't pay me much money. It's difficult for me to survive financially, to get by. It's difficult for me to get by. And last but not least, luckily this week, I don't have too many meetings, so I can progress with other things. I can get ahead with other things. How was that? Of course, I know I answered all of the questions and filled in all of the gaps really quickly. I don't expect you to have done it at the same speed as I did, but I just wanted you to see some more examples of how we can use these get phrasal verbs in context. And if you have any doubts about the meanings or about these sentences, then get in touch. Get in touch with me. To get in touch with someone is to contact them. Get in touch with me. Good. Okay. Nice one. And Miguel, hats off, silly sausage. Nice expression. Hats off is another way of saying, like, well done to you. Hats off. I take my hat off to you. And yeah, I can second that. Cheers for sharing these useful expressions with us. Good. And other questions from Antonio. What is the difference between get in the car and get on the casa? I think that might have been a typo, but get in a car, you use get in for cars. You get in a car or you get in a taxi. The opposite is you get out of a car. You get out of a taxi. And the other one, which you mentioned, I think you might have wanted to say get on the coach, possibly. If that is the case, a coach is like a bus. You can stand up and walk around. Therefore, we use on instead of in. If you can't stand up and walk around, we use in. If you can, we use on. Good. Awesome. Thank you. Fantastic, fantastic. Good stuff. Da-da-dum. And nice question. Get in touch or keep in touch? Keep in touch and stay in touch are exactly the same. Get in touch is to contact someone, and keep or stay in touch is to stay in contact. So yeah, get in touch is you send a message. We are in touch, meaning we have a direct channel of conversation. Good. And thanks for the time and effort you put into the class. Looking forward to the next live stream. Enjoy the wedding. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. And Antonio, on the car, we never say on the car. If you are on the car, you are literally on top of the car. So it has to be in a car. Now, we haven't finished just yet, because I have some other things that I'd like to show you. And what I'd like to show you is a dialogue, because I think dialogues are a great way of seeing context and being able to practice different expressions and pronunciation at the same time. So this dialogue contains some get idioms, some get expressions. And I'm going to play both roles. So we've got two roles. We have Lucy and we have Ben. Let me read it out, and then we will review the meanings. Okay. Lucy, we need to get the ball rolling on this project, or we'll never finish in time. Ben, I know, but honestly, I need to get my act together. I've been so disorganized lately. Well, you'd better get a move on. The deadline is next week. Don't worry. Once I get the hang of it, I'll work much faster. Just don't get carried away with the design details. Stick to the plan. Good point. By the way, did you get wind of what the manager said yesterday? No. What happened? He hinted that promotions are coming soon. If that's true, we can't afford to let things get out of hand. Exactly. We need to stay calm and get a grip. No panicking. True. I was going to present my new idea, but I almost got cold feet at the last minute. You should go for it. If the boss doesn't like it, at least you tried. And who knows? Maybe someone else will finally get a taste of their own medicine if they always shoot down your suggestions. You're right. Okay, let's focus. Stay calm and really show what we can do. There we have the dialogue. As you can see, there were lots of get phrases at the same time. And this is a homework pack that I send my students in the British English Immersion Club. And next week's topic is get. So we're going to be doing exactly this. And they have access to this PDF. So let's review these 10 idioms. And then I will read out the dialogue once more. And then we can call it a day. So get a move on. Come on, get a move on. This is another way of saying hurry up. Come on, get a move on or we'll miss the train. Get a move on, hurry up. Number 2, get cold feet. This means to become nervous about doing something. She got cold feet before the presentation. She got nervous about it and maybe chickened out. Number 3, get out of hand. This is to become uncontrollable. The protest got out of hand quickly. Number 4 is get your act together. This means organize yourself. Maybe you've been lazy or you haven't been doing much, and I'd say, come on, get your act together. Sort yourself out. You need to get your act together if you want to pass the exam. In other words, you need to study a lot more. Number 5, get a grip. Get a grip on yourself or of yourself. And this is very similar. It's like control yourself. Stop freaking out. Get a grip. Sort yourself out. So get your act together and get a grip are really, really similar. Stop panicking and get a grip. Now, number 6 is one I've already taught you, and it is get the ball rolling, and this is just to start something. Let's get the ball rolling on the project. Number 7 could be new because it's quite an advanced one and it's less common. Number 7 is get wind of. If you get wind of something, you hear the news or a rumor. For example, the press got wind of the story. Now, number 8, get the hang of something. This is to learn how to do something, to figure something out. I finally got the hang of using this software. I finally learned how to use it. I got the hang of it. Number 9, maybe new as well. Get a taste of your own medicine. This is to suffer the same bad treatment that you give to others. The bully finally got a taste of his own medicine. He suffered what he usually makes other people suffer. And 10 is get carried away. This is to become too excited. She got carried away during the sales and overspent. She spent too much. Quick question. Please repeat what's the difference between in touch and keep in touch. To be in touch, like we're in touch. This is a state. We are in contact. And get in touch is literally to contact, to send the message. I'm going to get in touch with my accountant after the class. I'm going to call him. I'm going to send him a message. But usually we are in touch every week. We are in touch every time I have a problem. I don't really have an accountant, by the way. I just made it up off the top of my head. So there we have our 10 get idioms. Now let me repeat this dialogue a little bit faster than the last time. And then I will go over any final questions that you might have. So, we need to get the ball rolling on this project, or we'll never finish in time. I know, but honestly, I need to get my act together. I've been so disorganized lately. Well, you'd better get a move on. The deadline is next week. Don't worry. Once I get the hang of it, I'll work much faster. Just don't get carried away with the design details. Stick to the plan. Good point. By the way, did you get wind of what the manager said yesterday? No. What happened? He hinted that promotions are coming soon. If that's true, we can't afford to let things get out of hand. Exactly. We need to stay calm and get a grip. No panicking. True. I was going to present my new idea, but I almost got cold feet at the last minute. You should go for it. If the boss doesn't like it, at least you tried. And who knows, maybe someone else will finally get a taste of their own medicine if they always shoot down your suggestions. You're right. Okay, let's focus. Stay calm and really show what we can do. How was that? Good reading? Good acting? I hope you liked it. Fingers crossed. All right, good. By the way, in my book, your tea is drop dead cool. Lewis, I must say, wink, wink. Thank you. He means my tea, my t-shirt. And this is a t-shirt that I bought last summer in Cadiz, where I usually spend my summer, where I was just a couple of weeks ago in Spain, in the south of Spain. And it says in Spanish, huele a mar. And oler, huele, means to smell, and mar means sea. So it smells of the sea. Cool tea, innit? All right, well, I think I'll finish off there because I've been ranting and waffling for about an hour, but I will continue to respond to any questions that you might have. If you ask me any questions when I post this live, then yeah, I will answer them. And if you have any questions about my classes, about joining the group classes of the British English Immersion Club, you can send me an email at lewis@englishwithlewis.com or send me a message on Instagram as well. And I hope to see you in my classes sooner rather than later. Now, for the rest of the day, I'm going to badger my mum and nudge and be like, Mum, let's record some YouTube videos. So hopefully, for the next couple of months, I'll have some chit-chats, some conversations with my mum, because I've done this in the past, but it's been quite a long time. I think it's about time that I bring mum back, don't you? So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, my pleasure. And if you want me to go live more often, I'd be more than happy to do so. Just let me know. It depends how successful this video is. If many people like and share the video, and if you really enjoy this kind of class, maybe once every fortnight I can do it, but it all depends on the response. If people like me doing live classes, I'll do it more often. if you're not that bothered, I won't do it. So the ball is in your court. And Sada, yeah, I love your mum. Well, yeah, I have 2 videos recorded with my mum already, and the plan is to record another 2 today. So then I'll have 4 conversations ready to go with my mum. So yeah, fingers crossed once again. And thank you everybody for joining. And well, I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Oops. Bye bye.